Geopolitics and its relevance should be understood before getting into details. Geography, political power, and geopolitical linkages affect global behavior. Countries strategize and compete on this chessboard. Business, money, security, and diplomacy are affected by geopolitics. War, alliances, resource distribution, and great power rise and collapse may be highlighted by geopolitical processes. Geopolitics impact governments and societies in a globalized society. What to expect from this video? Well, we'll tour the 21st century geopolitical hotspots and trends globally, Asia's power shift, Middle East difficulties, and technology's influence on politics are discussed. We will explain complicated ideas, provide historical context, and examine international interactions. This DVD explains the world to geopolitical beginners and specialists. Join the geopolitical journey and prepare to view the world differently. Let's begin. North American geopolitics. North America, the US, Canada, Mexico, and smaller states, is a global superpower with numerous difficulties and possibilities. US-Canada ties are among the strongest in the world. America's worldwide dominance has impacted North American geopolitics, including trade, security, and immigration. Canada. Despite territorial conflicts with Denmark over Arctic resources and Indigenous rights, Canada and the US have a strong relationship due to its calm and cooperative foreign policy. Mexico. Trade, drug cartels, immigration, and domestic drug violence and corruption influence US-Mexico ties owing to proximity. Conflicts continue. Number 1. Arctic conflict. Canada and Denmark dispute resource-rich Arctic territories. Number 2. Migration and border issues. The United States-Mexico border security and Central American immigration policies remain controversial. Important trends and events. USMCA modernized commerce between the three nations by replacing NAFTA. Number 2. Environmental concerns. North American policymakers prioritize climate change and sustainable energy. Number 3. China's influence. The U.S. closely monitors China's North American investments and their security and economic effects. Cooperation and competition. Commerce, migration, territorial disputes, and global issues like climate change and China's influence drive North American geopolitics. Geopolitics of South America. South America is beautiful, culturally diverse, and historically significant, but geopolitics are a problem. Brazil, South America's largest and most populous nation, aspires to Amazon, trade, and diplomacy dominance. Venezuela, President Nicolás Maduro and opposition leader Juan Guaidó are fighting for power, causing instability and humanitarian issues. Argentina, major in Mercosur. Argentina struggles economically and politically, owing to its size and resources. While Colombia has resolved international crises like the FARC, drug trafficking, security, and border difficulties continue. Conflicts continue. Number 1. The Venezuela crisis. Colombia and Brazil have taken in Venezuelan migrants and unstable nations due to its political and humanitarian issues. Number 2. Essequibo disputes by Guyana and Venezuela. Pacific Oceans accessed by Chile and Bolivia. Important trends and events. Number 1. Resource extraction. China heavily invests in South American oil, mineral, and agricultural projects. Number 2. Regional integration. Mercosur and UNASUR encourage economic and political cooperation. Number 3. Influence. China's infrastructure, energy, and commerce investments have increased its South American links. Number 4. Environmental deforestation. Illicit logging and climate change affect South American Amazon rainforests. In conclusion, economic opportunities, political challenge, and regional dynamics drive South American geopolitics. The Venezuela crisis, territorial conflicts, resource exploitation, and China's influence will persist. European geopolitics. Europe's rich history and various governments create a complicated geopolitical atmosphere of collaboration, conflict, and political and security issues. The EU's 27 nations collaborate on commerce, security, and governance to achieve peace and stability and prosperity. Europe and Russia cooperate and disagree on natural gas supplies, regional security, and Russian influence in Eastern Europe. NATO. Europe's military alliance deters and defends the area. Conflicts continue. Number 1. Ukraine crisis. Russia's Crimea annexation and assistance for eastern Ukraine insurgents have strained Western relations. Number 2. Cyprus independence. Greek Cypriot South and Turkish Cypriot North disagree. International attempts to reconnect the island continues. Brexit fallout. UK-EU trade deals impact geopolitics. Important trends and events. Number 1. Migration crisis. Europe has seen a significant inflow of migrants and refugees, especially from the Middle East and North Africa, producing immigration, border security, and EU burden sharing concerns. Number 2. Energy security. The Southern Gas Corridor and renewable energy seek to diversify Europe's dependency on Russian natural gas. Number 3. Rising populism. European populists' nationalist agendas harm foreign relations. Number 4. European Green Deal. The EU's Green Deal to cut carbon emissions, convert to renewable energy, and promote sustainability is popular. Number 5. Digital transformation. Data privacy, cybersecurity, and Facebook/Google regulation are possible European geopolitical issues. European geopolitics and global significance are impacted by crises like the Ukraine and Cyprus crisis, migration, energy security, and digital change. Middle East geopolitics. The Middle East has long been a geopolitical hotspot between Europe, Asia, and Africa because of its complex historical, cultural, religious, and economic consequences. Iran wants to influence neighboring governments for nuclear proliferation, regional stability, and oil exports. Israel has difficult connections with Arab governments and non-state groups like Hamas and Hezbollah due to its Arab geography. Saudi Arabia produces and exports oil and has religious and alliance links. Conflicts continue. Number 1. Israel-Palestine conflict. The Middle East's land, resource, and self-determination battle intensifies violence. Number 2. Syrian civil war. Russia, Iran, Turkey, and the U.S. murdered civilians in 2011. Number 3. Yemen conflict. Saudi Arabia, Iran, and international soldiers confront a humanitarian disaster. Important trends and events. Number 1. Arab Spring. The 2010 Arab Spring overthrew regional leaders and sparked political change, democratization, and human rights debates. Number 2. Iran nuclear deal. The 2015 JCPOA limited Iran's nuclear program in return for sanctions relief. It still impacts regional politics. Number 3. Oil and energy. The Middle East's oil riches make it a major energy player. Oil price volatility and renewable energy developments affect geopolitics. Number 4. Turkish regional ambitions. Turkey battled NATO members in Syria and Libya. Number 5. Security and terrorism. The Middle East faces terrorism, extremism, and radicalization. Energy, political upheaval, security trends, and ongoing conflicts like the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and the Syrian civil war make the Middle East a worldwide diplomatic concern. Asian geopolitics. Asia is the world's largest and most populated continent, with economic, military, and political might. China. China's rise has affected Asian geopolitics. It pursues Asia-Pacific and global supremacy through economic development, military modernization, and diplomatic initiatives like the Belt and Road Initiative. India, another regional and global power, has complex connections with surrounding states and is strengthening its military. Japan, a technologically advanced nation. Japan contributes to regional security and economic stability and is bolstering its defenses. Conflicts continue. Number 1. South China Sea conflict. China, Taiwan, Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, and Brunei contest maritime claims, impacting regional security and navigation. Number 2. Denuclearization and peace initiatives continue despite North Korea's nuclear goals. Number 3. India-Pakistan War. Decades of Kashmir War endanger regional security with line of control escalations. Important trends and events. Number 1. U.S.-China competition. U.S. and China compete for Asia-Pacific commerce, technology, and military presence, impacting Asian states. Number 2. Belt and Road Initiative, BRI. Regional nations support and oppose China's massive infrastructure initiative, which is changing Asian and global commerce and investment. Number 3. Rise and Southeast Asia. Southeast Asian economies, regional influence, and efforts to balance United States-China relations are growing their geopolitical importance. Number 4. Cybersecurity and technology. Asia is leading the digital revolution, and cybersecurity, data privacy, and tech innovation affect geopolitics and national security. Number 5. Regional organizations. ASEAN and SCO are vital to trade, security, and diplomacy. The South China Sea and Korean Peninsula battles, U.S.-China competition, and BRI infrastructure growth are changing Asia's geopolitics and global prominence. Geopolitics of Africa. African geopolitics is complicated by historical legacies, cultural variety, and socio-economic issues. Africa is growing economically and geopolitically despite its problems. Boko Haram and ethnic and religious conflicts plague Nigeria, a key figure in area politics and economy. South Africa, the continent's most developed economy, is essential to SADC and the BRICS due to its apartheid battle. Ethiopia, a diverse nation, is rising. The Tigray War and the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam building have strained relations. Conflicts continue. Number 1. Sahel Crisis. Boko Haram and Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb threaten Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad. Number 2. Horn of Africa. Somali, Sudan, and South Sudan. Instability challenges Eritrea's regional status, especially in Tigray. Number 3. Western Sahara. Moroccan Polisario front fighting continues. Important trends and events. Number 1. African Union AU. The African Continental Free Trade Area promotes economic growth. Number 2. Chinese investments. Chinese investments in African infrastructure, resources, and commerce raises debt and resource control concerns. Number 3. Climate change and environment. Droughts, desertification, and sea level rise affect African geopolitics and cooperation. Number 4. Demographic changes. Africa's youth provide and challenge global education, employment, and political stability. Number 5. Security and peacekeeping. The AU and UN lead African peacekeeping missions to resolve disputes and foster stability. In conclusion, historical legacies, regional conflicts, economic progress, and collaboration, China's investment, climate change, and demographic shifts impact Africa's geopolitics and global importance. Thank you so much for joining. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content. I'll see you in the next video.